It was Thanksgiving Day, and Keller had been invited to dinner by his neighbor Franklin. The two families were on good terms. Keller arrived at Franklin's house with his wife Grace, his eldest son Ralph, and his younger daughter Anna. Franklin's family consisted of his wife, Nancy, his eldest daughter Eliza, and his younger daughter Joy. There was still some time before dinner was ready, so the children went out to play. Keller's daughter Anna and Franklin's daughter Joy were playing outside, while Ralph and Eliza were also there. While playing, Anna and Joy noticed a large van parked nearby. Curious, they approached the van and began playfully hitting it with something solid. Ralph and Eliza stopped them before the van's owner could show up. Not wanting to get into trouble, Ralph quickly ushered everyone back inside. They all ate together, laughing and chatting happily. Meanwhile, Anna came to Keller and innocently told him that a few months ago, her favorite whistle had gotten lost somewhere near their house. Now she wanted to go outside with Joy to look for it. Keller smiled at her innocence. He allowed Anna to go, but also asked Ralph and Eliza to accompany them so they would all be safe. Later, when it was time to return home, Keller called out for Anna and Joy, but surprisingly, they were nowhere to be found. Worried, Keller asked Ralph and Eliza about them, but both said Anna and Joy hadn't told them they were going out. Upon hearing this, worry spread across Keller and Franklin's faces. Keller thought Anna and Joy might be playing somewhere near his house, so he immediately went home to look, but they weren't there either. Panicked, everyone searched everywhere for the girls, but they couldn't find them. Just then, Ralph remembered that the van parked near their house earlier was now gone. Hearing this, Keller's anxiety deepened. Without wasting any time, he called the police. The entire city police force mobilized to find the van, and soon they located it. Police headquarters assigned Detective Loki to handle the case. Loki cautiously approached the van, but as soon as the driver sensed the police presence, he tried to flee. While escaping, the van crashed into a tree, and the police apprehended him on the spot. During interrogation, the driver's behavior was strange. He wouldn't answer any questions properly. Loki only learned that his name was Alex, and that he lived with his aunt. To investigate further, Loki went to Alex's aunt's house, where he found out that Alex's parents had died in an accident, and he had been living with his aunt ever since. Loki noticed a photograph of a man in Alex's room. When he asked about it, the aunt told him it was her husband, Alex's uncle. About 5 years ago, they had a fight over something, after which Alex's uncle left the house in anger and never returned. Other than this, Loki found no significant evidence at Alex's house. He then sent Alex's van for forensic examination, but that too yielded no solid clues about the missing children. Meanwhile, a shocking revelation was made about Alex. Although he looked older, his IQ was only that of a 10-year-old. After learning this, Loki informed Keller and Franklin's families. Keller refused to believe Alex was mentally challenged. He argued that if Alex truly had a low IQ, he wouldn't have been able to drive a van. Angered and distraught, Keller pleaded with Loki not to release Alex. Loki passed Keller's request to the commissioner, but due to a lack of evidence, the commissioner rejected it and ordered Alex's release after 48 hours. However, Loki refused to give up. He continued pursuing the case and began questioning all of Keller and Franklin's neighbors to find any clues. Meanwhile, Loki arrived at the church father's house. Despite knocking on the door several times, he received no response. Suspicious, he peeked through the window and found the father lying on the ground. Without wasting any time, Loki broke down the door and went inside. His eyes fell on an empty liquor bottle, which made him realize that the father was unconscious from drinking. Loki didn't try to wake him, and instead began searching the house. Then he spotted a secret cellar. As he opened the cellar door and went down, the sight terrified him. Inside lay a rotting corpse. Enraged, Loki immediately shook the father awake and questioned him about the body. Trembling, the father explained that a few years ago, this man had come to him to confess his sins. He had told the father that he had sent 16 children to God so far, and that he had no regrets. In fact, he was proud of it. Furthermore, he had boasted about killing more children the same way. He had declared that he had started a war against God and wouldn't stop now. Hearing this, the father was shaken to the core. He felt that leaving such a man alive would be another sin. So he killed him himself and hid the body in the basement. As soon as the father confessed, Loki took him into custody. The next day, Keller and Franklin were searching for their children in the woods with the police. Keller's phone rang. It was his wife, Grace. Hearing her panicked tone, Keller became alert. In a trembling voice, Grace told him that the police were releasing Alex. Hearing this, Keller was horrified and immediately rushed to the police station. Outside the station, a crowd of reporters surrounded Alex. Keller broke through the crowd and pushed Alex to the ground. Trembling with anger, he demanded to know where the children were. Alex gave only a strange reply. "As long as they were with me, they were happy." Keller's anger grew, but before he could get any further answers, the police restrained him and took him into custody. Later, Keller told Loki and the commissioner about what Alex had said. After hearing Keller's words, Loki immediately went to Alex's aunt's house. He questioned both Alex and his aunt about the incident, but Alex claimed he hadn't said anything. Loki then sent Alex's aunt to another room and tried to pressure Alex into revealing the truth, but Alex kept insisting that he hadn't said anything. Considering his low IQ, it seemed impossible for him to lie so convincingly. This led Loki to believe that Keller might have misunderstood or imagined the situation. Loki called Keller and informed him about this. When Keller learned that the police weren't taking Alex back into custody, his anger reached its peak. He couldn't wait any longer. He decided to take matters into his own hands and kidnap Alex himself. Keller went near Alex's house and began watching him closely. As soon as Alex stepped out, Keller seized the opportunity, grabbed him, and took him away. He imprisoned Alex inside the bathroom of his old house. The next day, Keller brought Franklin to the same place and told him that he would torture Alex until he revealed where the children were. Franklin initially felt it was wrong and hesitated to take the law into his own hands. But since it was about their children, he finally agreed. Meanwhile, Loki's investigation continued. He stood outside the house where Alex had parked his van on the day of the kidnapping. The house was locked, and it turned out the owner had put it up for sale. Loki immediately obtained the owner's contact information and went to meet her. The owner was an elderly woman, and what she told him was shocking. She explained that 26 years ago, her son, Barry, had been kidnapped from that very house. Shockingly, a van had been parked there the day her son disappeared. She had tried everything to find him but never succeeded. Meanwhile, Keller had beaten Alex badly. Despite the beatings, Alex kept insisting that he knew nothing about the missing children. Franklin felt sorry for him, but Keller was convinced that Alex was responsible for their kidnapping. That night, the neighborhood held a candlelight vigil for the missing children. Loki also attended the vigil. While there, he noticed a man who looked different from everyone else. The man avoided Loki's gaze as if he had something to hide. Loki immediately became suspicious. As soon as the man realized Loki's attention was on him, he started running. Loki chased after him, but after a short distance, the man disappeared. Loki was still searching when suddenly, the man leaped from a tree and attacked him. By the time Loki regained his balance, the man had already fled. Determined to catch the mysterious suspect, Loki immediately called a sketch artist to help identify him. Within hours, a sketch of the man was ready. Loki wasted no time. He ordered the sketch to be circulated throughout the city. The man's picture was shown on news channels, and posters were pasted on every street and road. The entire city was in turmoil. When Franklin saw the news, he was terrified. He began to feel they were torturing innocent Alex for no reason. He shared his doubts with Keller, but Keller argued that Alex and the mysterious man were working together. Meanwhile, Loki was reviewing the recording of Alex's interrogation when he received a call from a woman working at a mall. She told Loki that the man the police were looking for had visited their mall several times. Each time, he bought children's clothes, always in different sizes. Hearing this, Loki told her to call him immediately if the man appeared at the mall again. Meanwhile, Franklin couldn't shake off his guilt. Despite Keller's repeated explanations, he remained restless. Finally, he told his wife, Nancy, about Alex's kidnapping. Hearing this, Nancy became furious. Together, they went to Keller's old house. Keller explained to Nancy that Alex was working with the same man the police were hunting. The three of them entered the room where Keller was keeping Alex. Alex had been beaten badly. Nancy asked him about her daughter, but through the pain, Alex said he hadn't done anything and begged to be freed. Feeling pity, Nancy untied his hands. The moment she did, Alex shoved her aside, broke the window glass, and grabbed a sharp piece to defend himself. Hearing Nancy scream, Keller and Franklin rushed into the room. Alex tried to escape by attacking Keller with the glass, but Keller and Franklin overpowered him and locked him up again. Keller beat Alex brutally, but despite the torture, Alex kept insisting he knew nothing about the missing children. Franklin began to pity him deeply, but Keller was absolutely convinced that Alex was behind the kidnapping. Franklin and Nancy could no longer bear what was happening. They realized they couldn't support Keller any longer, but still, in the desperate hope of finding their daughter, they didn't stop him. After one last glance, they quietly left the house without saying a word. However, someone else was lurking near their home. The same man the police were searching for. Inside, Franklin's eldest daughter was taking a bath alone. Before the man could harm her, Franklin and Nancy returned home, forcing him to flee. The man then tried to sneak into Keller's house. He tiptoed into Anna's room, but Keller's wife, Grace, heard a faint noise coming from there. Alarmed, she rushed to Anna's room but saw nothing unusual. As she looked around, she suddenly heard movement coming from her own bedroom. She ran there immediately and saw the window wide open. The man had already escaped. Hearing Grace's screams, Ralph also rushed in. Terrified that something terrible might happen, Grace immediately called Loki. During the investigation, Grace took Loki to an underground chamber in their house, a shelter Keller had built for emergencies. It contained enough supplies to survive for months. While talking, Grace asked Loki about Keller. She explained that Keller had told the family he was working with the police to find Anna. Loki was shocked because Keller was not working with them. Then, Loki noticed a bag of sodium hydroxide lying in a corner of the chamber, a chemical commonly used to dissolve and decompose bodies. Seeing this, Loki became suspicious of Keller. The next day, he secretly began monitoring Keller. He watched as Keller parked his car near a liquor store, but didn't go inside. Instead, Keller continued walking toward his old house. Loki sat in his car, carefully watching his every move. But suddenly, a truck pulled up behind Loki's car and began honking loudly. The truck's continuous honking drew Keller's attention directly to Loki. Realizing that Loki was following him, Keller immediately changed his route. Instead of heading toward his old house, he turned and walked into the liquor store. A few moments later, he came out with a bottle of liquor in his hand. Taking a sip, he walked straight up to Loki, staring at him intensely before asking in a low but firm voice, "Why are you following me?" Loki gestured for Keller to get into his car and asked directly, "Where is Alex?" Keller replied irritably, "How would I know? I'm drinking to deal with the grief of not being able to find my daughter. I lied about working with the police so no one at home would worry." Loki looked him straight in the eyes and asked, "Then why do you keep sodium hydroxide in your underground chamber?" Keller paused for a moment before replying, "My dog died a few days ago. I used that chemical to bury it." Loki advised Keller to support his family instead of drowning himself in alcohol, then left. But Keller remained suspicious. Upon returning to the office, Loki began investigating Keller's past. He discovered that Keller's father had committed suicide years ago in his own home, and the address matched the same house where Keller was now holding Alex prisoner. Meanwhile, Keller had gone back to the old house to continue torturing Alex. But then, he sensed someone nearby. It was none other than Loki, who had arrived to search the property. Realizing the danger, Keller quickly went to Alex and warned him that if he made any noise, the consequences would be severe. To avoid suspicion, Keller pretended to be drunk and lay down as if he were fast asleep. Moments later, Loki entered the house. He shook Keller awake and demanded that he show him around. Keller agreed and began leading Loki through the house. As they walked, they came dangerously close to the bathroom where Alex was imprisoned. Just as Loki was about to go in, his phone rang. It was the same woman from the mall who had previously informed him about the suspect. She told Loki that the same man had returned to the mall, but when she spotted him, he ran away. This time, she had managed to note down his car's license number. Hearing this, Loki immediately left to pursue the man, and Keller narrowly escaped exposure. When Loki arrived at the suspect's house, the man was inside. Seeing Loki at the door, he panicked and tried to block him from entering. But Loki pushed past him, handcuffed him, and began searching the house. During the search, Loki discovered several locked containers in the bedroom. His heart raced at the sight. He opened one of the containers and found blood-soaked clothes inside. As soon as he picked up a cloth, he was horrified to see several poisonous snakes slithering beneath it. He opened the other containers, all filled with clothes and snakes. But one container was different. It didn't contain any blood or snakes. Instead, it held strange paintings, suggesting something far more mysterious. Loki immediately sent the blood-stained clothes to the forensic lab for examination. Back at the police station, he called the parents of Anna and Joy and showed them photos of the clothes found in the suspect's house, one by one. As soon as Joy's parents recognized one of the items, they broke down in tears and left in grief. Loki then called Keller to come and see the photos as well. One of the pictures showed a small sock, his daughter's. The moment Keller saw it, his heart sank. He immediately recognized it and couldn't control his emotions. Consumed by anger and pain, Keller lashed out at Loki, accusing him of wasting time chasing him instead of catching the real kidnapper. Furious, Keller stormed out. When he reached home, he saw news reporters gathered around his house. Realizing what was happening, he strictly instructed his son, Ralph, to stay away from them. Keller also didn't want his wife to know anything about the blood-stained clothes, so he told Ralph to throw away the newspapers for the next few days and to avoid watching any news channels on TV. Consoling his son, Keller promised that no matter what the police said, he would find his daughter, at any cost. Meanwhile, Loki sat anxiously at the police station. All he had learned from the kidnapper was that his name was Bob Taylor, but he couldn't get any useful information from him. Bob claimed he was drawing a map of the place where Anna and Joy were being held. He had been working on the map for the past 3 hours, but what he drew looked more like a maze than an actual map. After waiting for a long time, Loki's patience ran out. He angrily approached Bob, grabbed him by the collar, and demanded to know where Anna and Joy were. Just then, other police officers rushed in to stop Loki. In the chaos, Bob suddenly snatched an officer's gun and before anyone could react, shot himself dead. This incident made the case of Anna and Joy's kidnapping even more complicated. With Bob Taylor's death, the last chance to get any crucial information from him was gone. Loki was now unsure whether Bob was the real kidnapper. The police had found blood-stained clothes and strange paintings at his home, but there was no solid proof that he was the culprit. The case had come to a standstill, and there was still no trace of Anna or Joy. All this made Loki extremely frustrated. He sat down, clutching his head, angry at himself. Then his eyes fell on the photographs of the decomposed corpse found at the priest's house. Around the corpse's neck was a locket with a design that exactly matched the maze Bob Taylor had drawn. Loki was thinking about this when he received a call from another officer, who urgently told him to come to Bob Taylor's house. The officer said that when the police dug up the ground around Bob's house, they found 2 mannequins. At first glance, they looked like the corpses of children, which made the police believe they might have found an important clue in the kidnapping case. The officer further explained that according to the forensic report, the blood on the clothes found in Bob's home was not human blood, it was pig's blood. During the investigation, Loki discovered that Bob had actually been kidnapped as a child. Although he had managed to escape, he had been repeatedly injected with drugs during his captivity, which affected his memory. Because of this, the police were never able to find his real kidnapper. Eventually, Loki and the other officers concluded that Bob Taylor wasn't a kidnapper but a mentally ill man. His childhood trauma had left a deep scar on his mind, and when he saw the news about Anna and Joy's kidnapping, he started connecting the incident with his own past. Slowly, he began to believe he was a kidnapper himself and started behaving like one. Now the question remained, how did he get hold of Joy and Anna's clothes? You'll remember that one day, Bob went to Keller and Franklin's house. That's when he stole them. According to the police, all the other clothes found in Bob's house were brand new, with the tags still attached. Meanwhile, Keller went to see Alex again. He told Alex that if he told him where the children were, he would let him go back to his aunt. Alex stayed silent for a moment, then softly said that the children were trapped inside a maze, but after saying that, he suddenly went quiet again. Keller kept questioning him, but Alex didn't say another word, as if he couldn't remember anything else. Alex's mention of the maze raised even more questions in Keller's mind. To uncover the truth, he went to Alex's aunt's house. When he arrived, Keller apologized for scaring Alex on the day of his release. Alex's aunt accepted his apology and invited him inside. During their conversation, she told Keller that she and her husband used to be very religious, but after their son died of cancer, they lost their faith in God. They had adopted Alex to help them cope with their grief, but she still couldn't forget the loss of her own child. She also mentioned that Alex had suffered an accident as a child, which left him with limited speech. When Keller brought up the maze, her expression showed she didn't know anything about it. Finding no useful information, Keller returned home, disappointed. As soon as he arrived, his wife, Grace, ran to him in panic. She said she had just received a call from the police station. They had found Franklin's daughter, Joy. However, there was still no sign of Anna. Grace explained that Joy was currently in the hospital and that they needed to go there immediately. Hearing this, Keller felt a new spark of hope and rushed to the hospital with Grace without wasting a moment. Upon arriving at the hospital, Keller began questioning Joy about Anna and the kidnapper. Joy was extremely weak and terrified, but she still managed to speak in a faint voice. She explained that Keller had come to the place where they were being held captive, but the kidnapper had taped their mouths shut, preventing them from calling out to him. Joy further said that they somehow tried to escape from the kidnapper's clutches, but the kidnapper caught Anna again. Fortunately, Joy managed to escape. However, due to her weakness, she couldn't go far and eventually fainted on the street. Luckily, a kind person found her and took her to the hospital. Hearing this, Keller was lost in thought for a moment, then suddenly rushed out. At that very moment, Loki was walking toward Joy's room to check on her. He saw Keller hurrying out and tried to stop him, but Keller ran past without stopping. Loki quickly chased after him, but before he could catch up, Keller had already started his car and driven away. Loki suspected Keller must have gone to his old house. Without wasting any time, he immediately headed there. As soon as Loki arrived, he heard loud screams coming from the window. It was Alex. Her screams pierced through the silence of the house. Loki cautiously moved forward and entered. The atmosphere inside was eerie and tense. He looked around until he finally found Alex, locked in a terrible condition inside that horrifying room. Loki quickly freed him. Alex was finally rescued from the hellish torture. But despite searching the entire house, Loki couldn't find Keller, because Keller wasn't there. Keller had gone to Alex's aunt's house. He had realized that she was the one who had imprisoned Anna and Joy. His plan was to confront her and force her to reveal where his daughter was. But Alex's aunt was cunning. She first let Keller into the house, and as soon as he asked about the children, she pulled out a gun and pointed it at him. She ordered Keller to put on the handcuffs from the drawer, then took a bottle from the refrigerator and told him to drink it. The bottle contained drugs. She then forced Keller outside. While doing so, she told Keller that after her own child's death, she and her husband had declared war against God. They had kidnapped and killed several children. Alex was the first child. His real name was Barry, the son of the same old woman shown at the beginning of the movie. The aunt further confessed that they had kidnapped so many children that she couldn't even remember all their names. Bob Taylor was one of them. They used to kidnap, torture, and murder the children. A car was parked in the courtyard. The aunt ordered Keller to move it. As soon as Keller moved the car, a small lid beneath it became visible. She told Keller to open it. When Keller removed the lid, he saw a deep pit underneath. The aunt coldly explained that when the police had come looking for the girls, she had hidden them in that very pit. She then ordered Keller to go inside, but he refused. Without hesitation, the aunt shot him in the leg. Groaning in pain, Keller had no choice but to climb into the pit. The aunt told him that she would soon throw Anna's body into the pit as well. She then closed the lid and covered it with the car. Keller had a small flashlight with him. He used it to look around and found a red whistle. It was probably the same whistle Anna had taken Joy outside to find. That meant she had found it before being kidnapped. At the police station, the commissioner ordered Loki to go to Alex's aunt's house and inform her that Alex had been found. Loki immediately rushed there and knocked on the door, but the aunt didn't hear him. She was in another room, about to inject Anna with poison. When no one answered for a long time, Loki opened the door himself and went inside. Inside, his eyes fell on a photograph of the aunt's husband. The man in the photo was wearing the same locket that was found around the neck of the corpse in the priest's house. The sight stunned Loki. He examined the photo closely. The same man, the same locket, the same pattern, everything connected. The truth hit him hard and left him shaken. Then Loki heard a faint sound. He quietly followed it into the next room. There, he saw the aunt giving Anna an injection. Loki pointed his gun at her and ordered her to turn around. But he didn't realize that she also had a gun. Knowing her game was over, the aunt turned and fired at Loki. Loki fired back at the same time, killing her instantly. Her bullet grazed Loki's head and hit the wall, severely injuring him. Despite the pain, Loki didn't give up. He grabbed the unconscious Anna and rushed her to the hospital. Before Loki arrived, the aunt had already injected half the dose into Anna, but fortunately, he reached the hospital in time to save her life. Both Anna and Joy were found safe, and Alex was reunited with his biological parents. However, Keller was still trapped in that dark pit. Later, after Loki was discharged from the hospital, he went back to Alex's aunt's house to investigate again. The surroundings were quiet, and a cold wind was blowing. Suddenly, he heard a faint whistling sound. Loki stopped and listened carefully. It was coming from underground. It was Keller, using the last of his strength to signal his presence. Loki slowly walked toward the source of the sound. Would he find Keller? Would Keller be able to escape that terrible prison? And with this mystery, the story ends. Friends, if you liked this video and got lost in the story while watching, please subscribe to support us, so we can keep bringing you more videos like this. Thanks for watching.